Well, you were in the Marines.
Yes.
But you weren't on board ship then, were you?
Sometimes we flew off carriers, of
Oh,
course.
that's right. You were a
Yes.
fighter pilot.
Yes.
That's right. I remember during the war that you destroyed an assembly line, a ball bearing factory,
Yes.
and I think a high technology
Yes.
plant. Unfortunately, it was in Detroit. But it's a record that stands to this day.
That's right.
There was an article in yesterday's LA Times about the great Midwestern joke war that's now raging between Iowa and Minnesota. Do you know about this? Well, apparently, there's an intense rivalry between the two states, and the residents are coming out with now the put-down jokes about people who live in the other states. I'm taking note, but I'm nonpartisan in this. These jokes do not express the views of me, this station, or anything else, or anybody. For example, we'll do one about Minnesota, and then we'll do one about Iowa to balance it out, and so the fair play. For example, these are jokes that they're currently doing back there. For example, they like to ask in Minnesota why all football fields in Iowa have artificial turf. It's so the cheerleaders won't graze after the game. And in Iowa, they're asking why Minnesotans don't drink more Kool-Aid. That's because they can't figure out how to get 2 quarts of water into one of those little paper envelopes. Here's some more jokes between Minnesota and Iowa. They say, did you know the University of Iowa closed down after someone stole their book? What is the difference between Minnesota and yogurt? Yogurt has culture. Here's what Minnesota says. What do you call 2 dirty teddy bears and a tractor that won't start? The Iowa State Fair. Now, those are pretty funny lines. Well, now, we checked around and found out there is a rivalry going on between many adjacent states. It's fun to make jokes if you live in Nebraska.
Yeah.
We would say somebody from South Dakota or somebody from Iowa and do the same jokes. So we had some people send in who apparently have some bad feelings to get out of their system. In New Jersey, they say, what's brown, tapered at the ends, and smells real bad when you inhale near it? Manhattan. New York retaliates with, how many New Jerseyans does it take to screw in a light bulb? 3. 2 to screw it in, and 1 to strangle the witness. I said, that's what they say in New York. I am only repeating what they say in New York.
We have nothing to do with
this. Nothing to do with this. This is a disclaimer. In New York, in South Dakota they say, what's the prettiest sight in North Dakota? The sign that reads, you are now leaving North Dakota. In North Dakota, they say, what's the difference between the weather in Minnesota and a Minneapolis housewife? The weather is only frigid once a year. Well, I think North Dakota wins that round. In Florida, they say, what do you call a woman in Louisiana who marries her hound dog? A social climber. That's what the Floridians are saying about the people in Louisiana. Now, in Louisiana, they say, what's the difference between a Florida woman and an alligator? If you get drunk enough, you could date the alligator. Missourians say, in Arkansas, what do you call a cold 6-pack and a warm outhouse? That's life in the fast lane. That's what they say about Arkansas. In Arkansas, they say, what's the difference between a 200-pound sack of cow manure and a guy from Missouri? The sack. I'm telling you, these people in these states are vicious. Alaskans say, why do women wear grass skirts in Hawaii? So at the luau, they'll know which pig to cook. Let me point out again. Let me remind you, friends. Alaskans say that. I'm not an Alaskan. That's what they say about Hawaii. Let me say what they say about Alaskans in Hawaii. In Hawaii, they say, what does an Alaskan call something that weighs 400 pounds, is covered with fur, and spends the winter sleeping? Mom. I'll get to my home state coming up here, yeah. In Missouri, they say, describe foreplay in Arkansas. Brace yourself, Linda Lou.